certified South Louisiana.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking, so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros had quite the weekend. They swept the Texas Rangers, securing a Lone Star Series for the season and grabbing first place in the American League West in the process. Houston has now won 6 games in a row and sits 58-55, 2.5 games clear of the Texas Rangers. They'll face the Toronto Blue Jays tonight at 7:10 p.m. right after today's Major League Baseball trade deadline. And speaking of the deadline, it was the rich getting richer over the weekend. The Los Angeles Dodgers landed Tigers ace Tarek Skubal for a package that includes 3 prospects. Skubal is the back-to-back reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League and joins an already loaded first-place Dodgers team. Clubs have until today's 5 o'clock p.m. Central deadline to make moves. LSU got some good news over the weekend on the baseball side of things. Standout high school pitcher Logan Schmidt announced that he will be attending LSU after all. Schmidt was committed to the Tigers but was selected in the MLB draft and was also considering junior college. He joins Jay Johnson's roster for the 2026 season as a left-handed pitcher. The New Orleans Saints began training camp last week and have already lost a couple of expected contributors. After Brian Brzez's knee injury on the first day of camp, the news over the weekend was that wide receiver Jalen Polk has unexpectedly retired from football at age 24. On the PGA Tour, it was Michael Thorbjornsen winning for the first time as he took home the final Rocket Classic in Detroit, Michigan. And it was a sad weekend for the McNeese family as former Cowboys defensive back Levi Wyatt passed away in a car crash. I'm Dawson Angelo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome into Footnotes. You are listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. You can give us a call on the ESPN hotline, 706-0111. In about 15 minutes as we broadcast live from the Bill and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette, Bill and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers, on this glorious Monday morning. Astros, I was a little worried. I didn't really know what was about to happen. They finally got up to 500. And it's, I always have this fear. I always make the basketball analogy. We've seen it where you come from way behind and you're down 20 or 18 or whatever, and you make this big run, and then you finally get to where you're like a point down or even, and then do you have enough left, to finish the game? And I understand that it's not an identical analogy, but you know what I'm saying? The Astros were, 11 down at one point in late May, and they have made a run, and they got to 500 on Wednesday, and you're like, okay, you're off on Thursday. Can you don't give yourself another hill to climb going into trade deadline day. And they did not. Now, was it a perfect weekend? No, it's baseball. It's not going to be perfect. They still cannot, unless the other team makes an error, they are not physically capable, or maybe I should say mentally capable, of driving in a runner from third with less than 2 outs. Now, it happened a few times on the weekend, only because they hit weak ground balls that the Rangers fielders botched. That's the only. If the other team doesn't mess up, they are not mentally or physically capable of getting a runner home from third with less than 2 outs. It's unbelievable. Equally as unbelievable is their ability to drive in runs with 2 outs. And that's just not how I think. And so it has been a rough season for me. The Astros lead the major leagues in 2-out RBIs. That is unbelievable to me. They are mentally not capable of driving in a run. I mean, El Perro Grande, he can't do it. Can't do it. Having an unbelievable, he cannot drive in a run with less than 2. No one on this team can. It's unbelievable. But when it's 2 outs, they can do it. I mean, I can't explain it. I hope it can last. I have a friend who was playing with me, I think, but he's like, man, I hope the Astros never drive in a run with 2 outs and less than 2 outs and a runner on third for the rest of the season, so they're due to do it in the playoffs. Well, I mean, there's some logic to that. I might have a heart attack between now and then, but it would sure be nice to be able to do that. But no, just tremendous weekend. Look, I thought it was incredibly stupid, especially after winning the first 2 games, where you're not playing with house money, but you kind of are. Like, after you won the first 2 games, when you've had no starting pitchers, you haven't been able to count to 3 all season. And you're going to pitch the guy who's bailed you out on 4 days rest for the first time. Like, why take that gamble? Now, none of us knew what he was going to do, and it turns out he did about what he always does. About 6 innings and about 2 runs given up. It's unbelievable how consistent Lambert has been. Now, he does seem mentally tougher, but just why? Like, we have 2 more months left to play. You were already a game and a half in first place. Why would you take the chance of messing it up by doing something out of routine for Lambert, who he was a nobody essentially and he's bailed out your season, and you're gonna roll the dice with him and do something that he hadn't done all year? And I don't even know if he's ever done it in his career. But I mean, that just seemed like a gamble not worth taking. Now, it went fine yesterday. He pitched well again yesterday. Now, hopefully he's healthy from here out. And I guess he will. It's not like, he was on 3 days rest or something. But I don't know. I don't like that what they did with him, but it worked so far. Hopefully he stays healthy. He seems like the kind of guy who could do it. He looks mentally tough. He's a different-looking cat on the mound, the way he thinks and reacts, and he's been very good. But no, just a tremendous weekend. And so now you go into trade deadline day with, you got to do something. And the more I look into all these players, I mentioned this on Friday, it's just almost every player that we've talked about or that national analysts are linking somehow, either directly or loosely to the Astros, are flawed. Like, they're just flawed. I mean, really flawed. I don't. You would hope they pull the trigger on someone. By the way, Luis Ariz went to the Phillies. I think I saw right before we came on the air, and I really thought the Rays were going to get him. The Rays need a second baseman. He's perfect for them. They don't get on base enough, and he would have been perfect for them. But the Phillies needed him too. And the Phillies need an outfielder too. Phillies have been struggling. Like I'm surprised. You know, the Phillies have like one more wins than the Astros right now. Think about that. The Phillies have been struggling. You know what else is amazing about the Astros that you don't think about? The Astros have had one losing month this season. One. They were horrible in April. They've had a winning record in every other month. It doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like they've had a winning record in all but 1 month. But the problem is that 1 month was horrendous. So it just, really put them behind the 8 ball. But they've got a lot of things moving in the right direction. Hopefully they make a trade today. They need to make 2 trades today. They got all kind of rumors out there. It's so hard to know what's true and what's not true. There was a big rumor up there. Some have denied it, some haven't. I don't know what's true, that they had a trade in place for Trevor Lawrence for the Twins, and Astros owner Crane nixed it for Brian Abreu. And there's a lot that can be said about all that, and we're going to say a lot of it. But here's my problem, and I don't want to steal too much. The next segment, we're going to talk about what everyone's talking about nationally. And I'm not buying all the national garbage. But why is it we've got to think about this? The Astros, if it comes out that they didn't trade for Trevor Lawrence because the owner didn't want to give up Abreu, why is it that the Astros have to give up arguably the best middle reliever in Major League Baseball over the last 2 years and get a pretty good outfielder and get hammered if you don't make that trade? But the punks can trade for a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and give up nothing. Like, it's unbelievable to me. The Astros are going to, if it turns out that that's true, they're going to get bashed for not wanting to trade the best middle reliever in Major League Baseball over the last 3 years to get a pretty good outfielder. But the punks can give up nothing and get the 2-time Cy Young Award. It's just unbelievable where we are right now. Like, something's got to be done about it. And do I think? I am not a salary cap guy. I don't think the salary cap is the thing. 20 years ago, anyway, we'll save that for the next segment because I don't want to start now. We don't have enough time to do that. But it was a crazy weekend. Had some strange Saints news. Jalen Polk just retires. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's just weird. Like, why go through all of that? I mean, he was given audio in OTAs a month or so ago. Oh, how much he loved football. And he was so great being back on the field, and now he's retiring. Like, it's just bizarre. He was fighting for like the 4th spot. He was in the running or in the competition to be like the 4th receiver on the depth chart. So it's not the end of the world anywhere near it, but he might not have even won that job anyway. But it's just, you kind of had he's a 2nd-round pick. Maybe he'll play well. And then not only did he not play well, he's not going to play at all because he retired. That's just bizarre. And so, we'll try to figure that out. Before we move on any further on this, it's just a weird day. I mean, the Astros have done great. They're back over 500. they're 2.5 games in first place. It's a trade deadline day. It's like you're kind of on pins and needles because you still don't know what kind of team you have. Like, it's August the 3rd, and we still don't know who the Astros are, like a lot of teams. But we'll find out a lot about it today. Like, today kind of determines who you are from here on out. And so it's very exciting, pins and needles. But before we do all that, what is our poll question of the day, sir?
Are the Dodgers good or bad for baseball, Kevin?
Well, I mean, under the current way of doing things, again, it's not a Punk problem. I mean, they're the team. It's kind of everybody else. So, I'll under the current way of doing things, it's bad. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, it's pretty easy to fix to me. It's not complicated. And you don't need a salary cap to fix it. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. But I would have to say under the current situation that it's bad, that they're bad. And, I've never been a fan of the Punks. Now, I pulled for them against the Yankees in the 70s and early 80s because the Yankees were that team that you kind of feel like the Punks are now. And I think the Punks are more behind it or worse right now than the Yankees ever were. But it did, there was a time where it didn't seem that way. And so a lot of the same things I was yelling on the air about 20 years ago, I'm about to do again after this break. And so I think it's not that difficult to fix. And I don't think we need a salary cap, but obviously a lot of people feel like they do. And so, it could get ugly. I don't even think about next year. People keep talking about next year. I don't even think about that. I'm just trying to be able to count to 3 or 4, and hopefully after today the Astros can count to 3 or 4. That's where my focus is right now, and trying to add a bat that can drive in a run with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, because right now they have no one that's capable of doing that. Not even the best hitter in the league can do it. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The gold standard, Drew Brees, rewrote the NFL record book as he helped the New Orleans Saints to a Super Bowl victory. Now number 9 is about to slip on the gold jacket, have a bronze bust revealed, and be immortalized in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. RP3, D-Lo, and Mesh will be live in Canton, in Ohio, to witness it all with a 3-hour special. Tune in on Friday from noon to 3 for the Gold Standard, presented by Bill and Abe, Acadiana's hometown lawyers, right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Make sure to set your alarm and tune in Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock for Sports Shorts here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Join me, Ronnie Rance, and the Sports Shorts team of Tommy Christsan, Hunter McCann, and the crazy man, Joel Davis, as we break down the sports and teams that you love. The LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, and everything in between. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to noon for Sports Shorts here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Abear, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Abear, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealAbear.com. That's BealAbear.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry.
No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving a world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclubs.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and your home for the LSU Tigers.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, you might want to wait a few minutes because I'm about to address the big national baseball issue. But you can give us a call at 706-0111, 706-0111. All right. So the Punks. And for those of you who may not know who the Punks are, I that's a nickname I gave the Dodgers 3 or 4 years ago, whenever that was, when they had a lot of punks on their team. And to be fair, most of those guys are on other teams, if not all of them right now. But the punk thing, that besides just in general being punks, I think it's a total punk move to do all the whining they did and knowing that they were doing the same thing. I mean, not in the same way, but they were doing the same thing, and knowing and talking all that trash. That's just a punk move, and it was done by a bunch of punks. So that's why I call them that. And so everyone is in an uproar right now, and it in some ways it's a complicated issue, and in other ways it's not a complicated issue. By the way, I saw a report today, and if this happens, if you think it's bad now, I saw a report today by somebody, I have no idea if it's true or not, it's just a rumor, that the Punks are working on a deal, and they think could complete a deal today for Paul Skeens. So can you imagine, after trading for Skubal, if they trade for Skeens? Now, Skeens has been getting lit. I don't know if you've noticed that. His ERA, and he has been getting lit. And it's like last 6 or 7, 8 starts. Totally crushed. His ERA for the season's up to 3.90. That's how bad he's been getting lit, because it wasn't that long ago. He had a pretty good ERA. His record wasn't all that good, but his ERA was pretty good. He has been getting crushed, but it doesn't matter. Everybody, or at least we all think we know what his ceiling is. And if the Punks trade for him, I mean, it's really gonna get ugly. It's really gonna get ugly. All right, here's my problems with the Punks. I've already talked about it for months. This whole they can pay with monopoly money, they need to stop all that. That needs to stop. They need to that needs to not be allowed to happen. We've already whined and complained and screamed and hollered about that. Here's my problem. I don't really have a problem with the Punks because I respect the Piper. Most people don't, or obviously I'm learning that. But I respect the game, the Piper, And the game can take care of itself. It always has been able to. Other games are not good enough to take care of themselves. That's why they got to have salary caps and all that kind of stuff. I still think the game can take care of itself. But even if you don't think so, I don't really have a problem with the punks going out and trading for people. But I have two issues. One, if you think it's unfair, why trade with them? Like 20 years ago, I used to complain, why trade with the Yankees? Why? When they were winning all them World Series and they were doing it with some retreads. They weren't good. I mean, the Yankees, there are times over the years where the Yankees went out and spent a bunch of money and all that and earned their reputation. But I thought, in my opinion, the 90s, the late 90s, early whatever this century's called, that first decade of this century is called, I think that is by far the most impressive run that the Yankees ever had. Way more than all their Mickey Mantle and Yogi and all that. That was a different era. Things were played differently. They had a bunch of advantages. They didn't have to win any playoff series. They had all these good players. There's a lot of cheesiness in all of that. But I always thought with their run in the late 90s and early part of this century was by far their best run as an organization, and I respected it more than anything else that they did before that in terms of how impressive it was. But even then, I would be like, just don't trade with them. Like, think about it. Why would you, if everyone is chasing this team and everyone supposedly hates them, then why help them? If they're so good, then why do they need your help? That's the way owners should think. Like, if they're so big and bad, the Yankees and the punks, why do they need your help? You know, you're a franchise who's struggling. They're going to come take one of your best players. Why? Why give it to them? No, Cat. If you're so big and bad, do it yourself. That needs to be step number one that the owners. Why trade with them? But here's the biggest point. And look, I try to think nice. I do try. But like the Buster Olneys and Jessica Mendozas, I got to make sure there's nothing in my hand when I see their stupid faces on the screen, because I don't want to think that anything's fixed. I don't want to think that the league is behind this, although I'm really starting to wonder about that in this situation. But when they get on and say all this dumb junk that they say, it's just propaganda to calm people down and to lie to people, and people buy it. I do not buy it. Well, anybody else can do this. The Yankees, the punks is because they have this great farm system. Well, no, I don't buy all that garbage. First of all, rankings and farm system is like recruiting grades. It's just a bunch of stuff that people can say to deceive people. They don't mean anything. First of all, you go back, the punks never trade a good player. And they just converted a trade where they gave up nothing. The punks never give up anything. If their farm system is so good, why are they always having to make moves? And why the players that they trade are never any good? Think about that. It's garbage that we're being fed by the national people who try to make excuses for the punks in this situation. And again, I don't blame the punks. I'm not blaming the punks. I'm blaming the other teams and the other owners. But I also don't buy this narrative that's garbage. Think about it. If the punks farm system is so good, How come they always are having to get best players from other people's teams that aren't good? Think about that. Why? Well, I thought their farm system was so good. Oh, they do such a great job. Well, the problem is they never give up any good players. So this great farm system, they can't pull up from their own farm system. They have to go steal and rape and pillage from other teams and never give them a good player, ever. They don't ever give up good players. And these guys that they're trading from their farm system, they're never any good. I looked at, I said, look, am I wrong about this? I went back and looked at about 15 trades, and I can't come up with maybe one mediocre player. I think Hunter Verduccia might be like the best player that the Punks have ever traded in the last 10 years. Now, I know a lot of you are Astro fans, and you're saying, well, what about El Perro Grande? We just celebrated Justin Fields' Appreciation Day. Yeah, the Astros got El Perro Grande. He was about 8 years old when they traded for him. And they had the Major League Baseball had no idea what the Astros were getting, and neither did the Punks. I exaggerate. He was 16. He was a 16-year-old nobody. And that's the only reason why Major League Baseball and the Punks allowed them to trade him. I'm telling you, go back and look at these trades. They never give up anything, ever. The Mookie Betts trade, donkeys. That guy, he played a few years in the major leagues. He's a punk himself, and then he's a nobody. He's not even in baseball anymore. He was terrible. They never give, the supposed great franchise farm system, they never give up any good players. Ever. You go look at like the Padres. Padres are always aggressive. The Padres give you good players. That's a farm system that they think of all the Punks have never even approached giving up a C.J. Abrams in a trade. Nothing. That they just got donkeys for Tarek Skubal. The supposed shining star in that trade is a 72-year-old minor league prospect, supposedly, with an injured history. That's not a good prospect, no. Now, is it impossible that he could have a good year or so? I guess it's not impossible. That is not what you should be giving up for Tarek Skubal. And that's the best of the three. He's old with an injured past. That is not a shining prospect. I'm telling you, go back and look at it. I looked at all these trades. I guess you could say Alex Verdugo is a pretty good player. He was okay for like 2 years, but he was disappointing, and now he's out of baseball. He was not good. Connor Wong. Look, the only three good players. You tell me who's the best. Of all the trades that they've made in recent years, Hunter Verduccia, Dustin May, who's not very good, he's always hurt. Kenta Maeda, he was an average player. He was at least a major league player. Alex Verdugo, who was a punk and he's out of baseball, and Connor Wong, who's okay. I mean, he's a little bit below average. I mean, they don't even trade major leaguers, hardly ever. And all these great guys that they trade in their farm system, they're all awful. None of them ever do anything. But teams keep trading with them. Why? It's stupid. And it's not the Punks' fault. Don't trade with them, and don't buy this garbage that they have this great farm system, because they never trade a good player ever. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros had quite the weekend. They swept the Texas Rangers, securing a Lone Star Series for the season and grabbing first place in the American League West in the process. Houston has now won 6 games in a row and sits 58-55, 2.5 games clear of the Texas Rangers. They'll face the Toronto Blue Jays tonight at 7:10 p.m. right after today's Major League Baseball trade deadline. And speaking of the deadline, it was the rich getting richer over the weekend. The Los Angeles Dodgers landed Tigers ace Tarek Skubal for a package that includes 3 prospects. Skubal is the back-to-back reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League and joins an already loaded first-place Dodgers team. Clubs have until today's 5 o'clock p.m. Central deadline to make moves. LSU got some good news over the weekend on the baseball side of things. Standout high school pitcher Logan Schmidt announced that he will be attending LSU after all. Schmidt was committed to the Tigers but was selected in the MLB draft and was also considering junior college. He joins Jay Johnson's roster for the 2026 season as a left-handed pitcher. The New Orleans Saints began training camp last week and have already lost a couple of expected contributors. After Brian Brzez's knee injury on the first day of camp, the news over the weekend was that wide receiver Jalen Polk has unexpectedly retired from football at age 24. On the PGA Tour, it was Michael Thorbjornsen winning for the first time as he took home the final Rocket Classic in Detroit, Michigan. And it was a sad weekend for the McNeese family as former Cowboys defensive back Levi Wyatt passed away in a car crash. I'm Dawson Angelo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Drew Brees set a new standard for quarterback play, and now the Saints legend will be immortalized in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. RP3, D'Lo, and Mesh will be there for this historic occasion with a special 3-hour live broadcast from Canton, Ohio. Tune in Friday, August 7th for the Gold Standard. Presented by Beal & Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Right here on ESPN, 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet, heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB. Over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
You're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Welcome back to Footnotes. All righty, now it is time. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, 706-0111. You want to talk about the Punks and everything going on there. People all over the country very upset about that trade. And again, I would not mind if they made all these trades, if they ever gave up good players. They never do. They trade donkeys. And they get all these people, and they never trade anything. They never get anything. It's it is incredible. And people just keep trading with them. They just keep trading with them. Why trade? I'm not getting anything back. All right, let us head to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Once again, man, I find it funny that you don't have any issues with a salary cap for the NFL or the NBA, but you draw the line, you stop the line when it comes to a salary cap for Major League Baseball. And like I said, hopefully, I wish there were any salary caps for any of these leagues, but they have them, and that's what it is. But basically, you're going to need a salary cap for this. You know what I'm saying? Because you have teams, some teams don't spend. Look at Tampa Bay. They don't have to spend. A lot of teams don't spend. At least the Dodgers spend. And guess what? Unless they have a salary cap, I hope they keep doing it. I hope they buy every top-tier player at every position.
Again, I don't care if they do, but you have to get something back. That's how that's supposed to work. They trade donkeys. They don't trade players that are any good.
I don't know what to say about that. I guess teams look at it like, well, this is a top-tier player, and the Dodgers can afford this player or give him his fair share on the market. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't have an issue with it until you break down and say, yeah, we need a salary cap. It's gonna continue to keep happening. And I'm for it.
Again, I am not against them trading for great players. They just have to give up players. They never do, ever.
So once you get, why? And look, I heard you said, oh, I don't want to think it's rigged, but why teams are not giving up great players?
It's very hard. It's becoming more hard to think that there's not some corruption here. Yes, it does.
So you tell me C.J. Abrams, you knew he was going to have this type of year?
Well, no, but he was a great prospect. The Punks never give up great prospects, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Like I said, man, it's so what you think? Well, I know I heard you earlier. You said you don't care for the, you don't want to think about next year because this is interesting, man. Like I said, Major League Baseball has one of the best players unions on all the sports.
Yes.
So they have held on for the longest. When it came down, a lot of these leagues broke down with the salary cap kind of early, man, like in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And look at them, they're still going strong. And I really think this is from 87. I know we don't want to talk about it. Collusion, man. Like, the players, you don't have any players for that.
Well, you know what? It's time to collude.
Say that again?
I mean, it's time to collude, not what they were doing in the 70s. That was league in the 80s. That was league-wide. It's time for all these teams, not together, but separately, all say, look, until we start getting good players, I ain't trading with you no more. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I feel you, man, but it doesn't work that way. And
well, why not? Well, then don't complain.
Who?
These owners don't complain. Like, I don't want to hear when we get into all this stuff in January and February. I don't want to hear the owners whining about how it's about competitive balance. It's really easy. Don't trade with them.
Hey, let me ask you this: the Phillies. I thought the Phillies had a deal in place. What happened with that?
For Skubal?
Yes.
I don't know. They just got Luis Ariz, who's a good hitter, a good singles hitter, but he's not Skubal. But, no, I don't know. I really thought the Brewers were going to. Now, again,
Come on, man.
I've heard, and I don't know, you don't know what's true because I don't believe what the national guys say because they're all trying to make it look better because they're getting that from Major League Baseball. I don't trust any of those national guys or what they say. But supposedly they were asking for top prospects from the Rays and the Brewers. Why? And they got
hold on.
And they got nothing but donkeys from the Tigers.
Yeah, man, Brewers have a prospect in Biloxi, man. Infielder. I think Meade is last name. I cannot wait till this guy gets to the majors.
All right.
Look at the Brewers do. They don't pay anyone, man. Teams get real good and they ship them
Well,
off.
I understand. I appreciate.
They're the issue, not the Dodgers. All right, thank you.
All right. Again, I'm not blaming the punks. I mean, if I was the punks, except for if they're in cahoots with Major League Baseball. And I've said for years, when you say a team is cheating, that ain't even close to as bad as if the league is cheating. There's nothing worse than the league cheating a team. Teams are gonna cheat, and they're gonna try to do what they can. It's the league's job to police the teams cheating against one another, especially on things like sign stealing and all that, and that garbage the Broncos did in the Niners and Buddy Ryan did with the Eagles, and then he brought, with Bozo brought it to the Saints, and all that stuff's been going on for decades. And at one time was the NFL praised it and glorified it. That's a whole different deal. But there's nothing worse than the league cheating. And this is what I'm talking about. I happened to watch a 30 for 30, and I don't know all what went into this. But I happened to watch the 30 for 30 on the two Bills. Have you ever seen the 30 for 30 on the two Bills? I'm sure a lot of you are like me. Y'all love the, sports documentaries where you kind of go behind the scenes and they talk to players and all that. And I've never hated Belichick. He's hard to listen to sometimes. I never liked Bill Parcells. No. But Stalin, I call him. But anyway, they were interviewing the very iffy, already kind of owner of the Patriots. And he was if you go back and watch it, it was really weird what was going on with Belichick leaving. If you don't remember, like he left and then he went to the Jets and Parcells took the job, and so say he took Belichick with him and he was gonna replace him. It was just really weird. And the Patriots are like, he actually said it in this interview that he was really concerned that it seemed like to him from everything that he was experiencing that the league office, it was really important for the NFL league office, and they were going to bend over backwards to make sure that Belichick went to the Jets. That he felt like he was being shortchanged, and it wasn't the Jets shortchanging him. It was important to the NFL, and they were working behind the scenes to make sure the Jets were good. This was before the Patriots got really good. And so just watching that was so coincidental. It just planted the seed in my mind. It wasn't all that long ago the punks were in Major League Baseball, where then they had this whole contract issue with TV rights, and it seemed like Major League Baseball shortchanged the punks, and they filed for bankruptcy, and then now the punks have all the money in the world. Another thing. You remember when Chris Paul got traded to the Lakers, and the NFL said, this trade is not in the best interest of the NBA. We're not letting this. Why can't the commissioner now do it? All he has to say is, look, you can trade, but you got to give up good players. No, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. It's been going on forever. Give up. No. If you're gonna trade to get an elite player, you have to get good players. You have to give up good players. Like, we can't keep doing this. Why can't he just step in? In the Major League, the NBA did it. All of that should be done before we get to a salary cap. And just cry. I hate the idea of having a salary cap in baseball. No. It is a little iffy. There's some things that you don't want to think about conspiracies, but Major League, and I love baseball, you know that, but the Major League Baseball, it was criminal the way they handled the 90s and the steroid issue. And I'm not so sure they're not really sketchy here. It's starting to seem that way. All right, we'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
With storm season here, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley brings you these hurricane safety tips. Make sure to secure your home. Bring in outdoor items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with food, water, and medication. Know your evacuation routes. Listen to local authorities. Stay informed with battery-powered radio, and make sure you have fresh batteries on hand. Remember, safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit DuplessisBuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
BB's Auto Sales has been serving Acadiana since 1966. Cleanest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Need financing? No problem. BB's offers easy financing for all credit types, including in-house financing. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your trade. Voted top 3 dealership in Community Choice Awards 2 years in a row. Visit BB's Auto Sales, 2 convenient locations off Johnston Street and in Abbeville. bbsautosales.com. Cleanest cars in Acadiana. Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at louisianagunshop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
The biggest headlines in the world of sports are discussed here. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Won't really have time to take any phone calls in this one, but the whole second hour, it is Monday, and so we don't have any guests. And so we will have an hour. If you would like to get in on the ESPN hotline, 706-0111. You want to get in on the We Hate the Punks, or we love the garbage that Jessica Mendoza and Buster Olney and people like did feed us, or, whatever. Certainly you can feel free to do that. If you want to discuss anything else on the baseball trade deadline, it's going to be very interesting. For those of us who don't want the Punks to win, it's very important that the Braves, the Brewers, the Phillies, the other teams in the National League improve themselves at the deadline. I don't know that there's a lot of ways to do it. I think normally the most impactful trades at the deadline are not the most high-profile ones. It's normally a pretty good player that you get that falls a little bit under the radar, and they, just have a hot couple months, and they fill a need on a roster, and that's kind of normally the way that works. So hopefully one of those teams can make one of those trades. I think the Brewers are good. I know a lot of people are trying to rolling their eye, like never taking the Brewers seriously. Like we get what the Brewers are. They win a lot of regular season games, and they never can win in the postseason. And is that possible? Of course that's possible. But hopefully they'll go out and get some help. Robbie Ray is out there. Reed Detmers is out there. The Rays went out and got Freddie Peralta. If Freddie Peralta just throws a decent amount of strikes, I think he's really talented. Like the Brewers are not going to trade for Freddie Peralta, you wouldn't think. They just got rid of him. But, and I understand Robbie Ray and Reed Detmers are not Tarek Skubal in terms of what they've done recently, but Robbie Ray's actually having a pretty good season, and I thought his career was washed up. I thought he was done. But he's actually done pretty well the last couple of years in San Francisco. So we'll see what happens there. If the Astros trade for Robbie Ray, I mean, how interesting would that be? First of all. But second of all, it would be, I'm not going to say, that's a lock. He's going to be good. I have no idea what Robbie Ray would do if he came to Houston. But I would, I'd feel hopeful that, if he can keep pitching. I think his ERA is, last I checked, was like in the low threes, like 3.09 or something like that. So, no, look, if he's anywhere near that, it would be a plus for the Astros. I think there's some pretty clear-cut starting pitchers to go after, where you kind of feel like there's enough of a track record there to kind of get a pretty good idea of what you might be getting. The bats is a completely different story. Like, I know a lot of people think the Astros are about to trade for Dalton Varsho. Dalton Varshow's pretty good defensively, but he doesn't get on base. He's not a very good hitter. I don't know that I want Dalton Varsho. By the way, George Springer played his second game in the outfield all season yesterday with Astro scouts in the stands. Are they about to do the same thing again? Are they about to bring Springer back like they did Correa last year? And can Springer even play the outfield anymore? That would be unbelievable. 1 hour down, another hour to go. Stay tuned.
Around Acadiana, community means supporting the businesses that make our hometown special.
That's why we're proud to spotlight local companies that are certified South Louisiana.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at DeltaTrailerSales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Imagine a place where wellness, luxury, and community come together. Welcome to City Club at River Ranch, Acadiana's premier private club. Enjoy a state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at DeltaTrailerSales.com.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up!
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys! Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros had quite the weekend. They swept the Texas Rangers, securing the Lone Star Series for the season and grabbing first place in the American League West in the process. Houston has now won 6 games in a row and sits 58-55, 2.5 games clear of the Texas Rangers. They'll face the Toronto Blue Jays tonight at 7:10 p.m. right after today's Major League Baseball trade deadline. And speaking of the deadline, it was the rich getting richer over the weekend. The Los Angeles Dodgers landed Tigers ace Tarek Skubal for a package that includes 3 prospects. Skubal is the back-to-back reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League and joins an already loaded first-place Dodgers team. Clubs have until today's 5 o'clock p.m. Central deadline to make moves. LSU got some good news over the weekend on the baseball side of things. Standout high school pitcher Logan Schmidt announced that he will be attending LSU after all. Schmidt was committed to the Tigers but was selected in the MLB draft and was also considering junior college. He joins Jay Johnson's roster for the 2026 season as a left-handed pitcher. The New Orleans Saints began training camp last week and have already lost a couple of expected contributors. After Brian Brzez's knee injury on the first day of camp, the news over the weekend was that wide receiver Jalen Polk has unexpectedly retired from football at age 24. On the PGA Tour, it was Michael Thorbjornsen winning for the first time as he took home the final Rocket Classic in Detroit, Michigan. And it was a sad weekend for the McNeese family as former Cowboys defensive back Levi Wyatt passed away in a car crash. I'm Dawson Angelo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome back to Footnotes. You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. If you would like to get in to the ESPN hotline, 706-0111, certainly feel free to do so on this glorious Monday morning. The Astros swept the Rangers. The Astros are now above 500. The Astros are now in first place, and they've won 11 out of 12 games. It's unbelievable. I remember when they got swept by the Orioles, and I don't really think they were rock bottom because really, when they got swept by the Orioles, the only reason they got swept by the Orioles is because Brian King had a meltdown for about a week and a half and started with that. And Brian King had up to that point was having a really good season. And all of a sudden, he couldn't get anybody out and couldn't stop giving up home run. But if Brian King, they actually played pretty decent baseball that weekend. Brian King just blew 2 of the 3 games in the 8th inning, giving up home runs. If he had done what he'd done all season, they would have probably won that series. But at the time, I remember saying, in some ways, I could see people, even though I wasn't one of them, saying this is rock bottom. And bringing it back to that series in Colorado where the Red Sox played terrible and lost the series to the Rockies on the road. And I remember saying they hit rock bottom, so they're going to do one or two things. Either they're going to tank or they're going to, when you hit the bottom, there's only one way to go, and it's up. And they have been unbelievable since then, the Red Sox. The Red Sox just swept the Punks on the road. The Punks have lost they've lost about 7 games in the last 2 weeks. So the Punks are not even, they're not even a lock to, they're not even, right now, if the playoffs finish today, the Punks will not be the 1 seed. And that's what I'm talking about. Baseball can take care of a lot of that. Baseball can do that. But just look at when the Astros traded Icky, as an example. The Astros got a top prospect, a first-round pick, and 2 established major league players. 2 major league players. Now, one of them was a pretty good player, a little above average, and one was a little below average, but still it played pretty well. So they got 2 major league players and 1 first-round pick. The Punks never come. The Punks give out. All they give you is donkeys. That's it. That's all they trade is donkeys. It's just a different deal. But no. So what is going to happen with the Astros today? I don't know. We'll see. There are a lot of people that are saying, and it's just hard for me to believe because I'm just I understand 162 games. And every year I have to remind people nationally, it's 162 games. You don't even know who you are until after the trade deadline. Now, if you have a record like the Rockies do, you kind of know. But I'm talking about it. There's so many teams. All you got to do is make 1 or 2 moves and it completely change your team and who you are. But there are a lot of people that are believing right now, going into today's trade deadline, that the Rangers and the Mariners are selling. That's just, the Mariners are, what are they? They're 3 games out of first place with 2 months to go, and they're going to sell? Now, I have no problem with them trading Luis Castillo like they did over the weekend. Luis Castillo's having a horrible season. They're about to call up, the great prospect from LSU, and they need bullpen help. So that trade doesn't make any – I don't have any problem with that trade. But if the Rangers and the Mariners sell, that would be very interesting, and I wouldn't understand. Now, doesn't mean you don't have to be sellers. You can trade some players and not be sellers if you're doing it creatively. And again, Castillo was not a trade, not a selling trade in my mind. But I don't know that I buy that, but people are saying it. We'll see what they do today. All right, let us head back to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Oh, I'm trying. I'm very frustrated with a lot of stuff I hear, but I'm extremely excited about the Astros.
Oh, Kevin, those announcers, they are really. Which Kevin, you have to you understand that they're entertainers. I mean, these people are trying to entertain not you, Kevin, but the masses with all the malarkey. The Avengers, the Dodgers are now the Avengers, and Buster Olney, they got the greatest farm system. That's why they can do all. Kevin, you almost killed me with that the guy 72 years old. I mean, that's really something. But anyway, okay, Kevin. So you think this can be fixed? But is anybody going to do that, Kevin? I mean, come on. I know that's the answer, but you don't think those guys, those billionaires and those GMs, do they really think like that? I mean.
Well, then I don't want to hear him talk about competitive balance then. Why trade with them? If they're so good and their little farm system is so good, why they need me?
I agree. Kevin, you and I remember when you never traded in your
division. Now everybody does that. It's crazy.
Trade National League and American League way back in our day. Nobody did. So, yeah. I mean, I just don't know if anybody's gonna do that. I'm about as far from a conspiracy guy as you can get. I'm starting to believe that they're starting to do these things like this ridiculous trade with the Dodgers, giving up nobody and getting the best pitcher in the world. I'm starting to believe that they're doing that on purpose.
Can you imagine seriously if they trade Skeens to the Punks today?
Oh no! I mean that you have to.
I mean,
like you said, the commissioner's got to.
At some point, they got to step in and say, "Look, this has to stop." And you can do it, but you got to give up good players. Like you can't. Not only do they not give up good players, they play them till 25-25. That you know what? That needs to be the Punk's new theme song. 25 in the year 25-25. That's what they do.
You're killing me, man. I know. I understand.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. My son-in-law, yesterday, I visited with my son-in-law. He says, do you see that they gave up? They gave up nobody.
Nobody.
They didn't give up a major league player.
They always do that.
That's ever going to be a major league player.
They always do.
Yeah. It's phenomenal, Kevin. I think your answer is correct, but, man, I just don't know if anybody's going to do it. Okay, Kevin, I know it's early. I know you're working on your Saints. A lot of things go into the record, but man, I'm optimistic, Kevin. I'm really.
No, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic, but got to stay healthy.
All right, Kevin.
All right,
man.
Take care.
Later.
By the way, to Manny's point, August is here. I heard a lot of the arguments. I guess I'm conservative by nature, except for when it comes to my team. I'm so glass overflow with. And so I guess I'm going to settle on 8 unless someone gives me a real, because August is here now. So at the beginning of August, end of July, we've done it for years where we try to come up with the lowest acceptable win total to where it may be a little disappointing, but it's at least acceptable. I guess I'm going to say 8 for the Saints. Although, again, in my mind, if the Saints stay relatively healthy and they only win 8 games, I'm going to be bitterly disappointed, very disappointed. Now, if they get injured and they win 8 games, then you don't know how all that's going to play out in early August. But I think I'm ready to say 8 for the Saints. For LSU, I think I'm going to say 9. Like, I think LSU fans are expecting 10-2 or better. But if they go lower than 9, then it's not going to be acceptable. Like, it's going to seem like a failure, I think, this year, depending on injuries. Obviously, all of that is depending on what happens during the year. But does that sound fair? Is 9 the right answer for LSU, or am I underrating it or overrating it to you?
So is that we're
not
still
a prediction?
But is that
the lowest acceptable win total without just something's got
regular season,
right?
Or are
right.
we counting everything?
No, just regular season.
Yeah, I think 9 because there's some versions of 9 and 3 that are going to be actually really impressive. There might be a couple versions of it that are underwhelming, but there could be some versions of it depending on who these teams end up being, right?
Right.
So
is 8? You're okay with the Saints 8?
Yeah, I think 8's the number. At least even it's like at 7, there's going to be a conversation about like, man, because there's going to be a few of those close games, and you're going to sit there and go, if 7's the number, you're going to be probably a little upset with it.
The Cajuns. The Cajuns, to me, are the hardest one in this exercise because unless I'm just totally wrong, and it's, sometime I am, but unless I'm totally wrong, it's just so dependent on the health of the quarterback that, the possibilities of what it could be both ways are pretty stark, I think, pretty big.
That makes sense. But
so where do you land in the middle then in this exercise? Like, is it 6?
No, it's got to be higher than
7?
6. My first instinct was to say 8. You might be walking me into 7 territory, but isn't the whole exercise assuming health? Don't we do that in this exercise?
Yeah.
Assuming general health?
Is it okay? Kinda.
If
but again,
listen.
If McCoy gets hurt, that's not a random. Oh well, he got hurt. That's just dumb luck. No, he was hurt all of last year. Was hurt all the year before. The Cajuns haven't had a healthy quarterback in 5 years. So if Lunch gets hurt, you can't just say, well, that's who they are.
Right, but my point is, like, if he misses 2 to 3 games, I think you can still say, no, they should still be able to accomplish most of their goals. Like, if he misses half the season or more, then yeah, like we're not going to know what they could have been. That's how I'll feel about it. But if he misses 2 or 3 games sprinkled throughout, the problem's going to be if he's playing, but we know he's hurt, and we're trying to measure, like, how hurt is he? And
which is what happened last year.
Yeah, and he still muscled them through it for the most part.
So you think 7?
I wouldn't say 6 is fair. I think it has to be higher than 6, based on where we've been.
6 for McNeese?
Yeah, they're tough. Like, I just have, as we said, what is the South thing going to look like? But it does sound like they think they're going to be better, and they weren't. They have the quarterback back. So yeah, I mean,
or should they be 7?
Well, they only play 11 games still, right? So, or do they play 12 now? They played 12 last year, so I guess they do play 12 now. So I guess 7's more fair.
I think they'll feel like there's some on the table if they stay reasonably healthy if they only win 6, right?
Yeah, and one of those games, I mean, they play LSU, don't they? So that's a tough one.
Yeah, that I don't even count that.
And just like last year, they played that like NAIA team, which was kind of that doesn't count either in the other direction. But anyway,
is 7 fair?
I think it's fair.
So we're going to do 7 on the Cajuns and the Cowboys, 8 on the Saints, and 9 on LSU. Are we I guess I'm comfortable with that. So again, I say all this to where when we get it mid-season, we always harken back to, okay, remember what we were saying was the lowest win total, acceptable win total. And you got to be able to, there's some little wiggle room based on injuries and getting cheated and stuff like that. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Drew Brees rewrote the NFL record books and helped lead the Saints to a Super Bowl victory. Now number 9 will slip on the gold jacket, have his bronze bust revealed, and be immortalized in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. RP3, D-Lo, and Mesh will be there live in Canton, Ohio to witness with a 3-hour special. Tune in on Friday from noon to 3 for the Gold Standard presented by Bill and Abear, Acadiana's hometown lawyers, right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. Your home for the Houston Astros.
Welcome back to Footnotes. If you would like to get in the ESPN hotline, feel free to do so, 706-0111. All right, so we've been doing a lot of arguing like people all over the country are doing with the Punks and discussing that in the trade deadline. We talked a little bit about the weird Saints situation with Polk retiring. Again, I don't know that any of us really had any idea what Polk was going to do, but you figured he could maybe be your fourth receiver as a second-round pick just a few years ago. And then, why go through all of the rehab, all of the working out and preparing, and then quit now? A cynic, I've heard the cynical point of view is, well, that was easy money when you're doing all that. But now that you actually have to play football, well, I don't know. You wouldn't think he would think that way, but it just, I don't know. Again, we don't know what's going on in his head and what's going on in his life, so we're all just guessing. But it's just kind of strange. Not that it wouldn't be strange if he wasn't very good and he didn't make the team and got cut. I wouldn't have thought that was strange. But retiring the first week of practice after, he was in that group that would go to California and work out, and we heard all this stuff. They they interviewed him during OTAs, and he's talking about how much he loves the game and he can't wait to get out there, and then now he's retiring. Like, it's just weird. And it's not crippling or anything like that. Maybe I would argue for the first time in the history of the franchise, we think they actually have depth at wide receiver. That's not been one of the positions they've ever had much depth at all. But they kind of have that now. And again, he was competing for the number 4 spot on the receiver depth chart. And he didn't even have it. He was competing for it. And so now our friend Trey Palmer out of witness protection, he might. I still think Trey Palmer's an NFL football player. He'll have a chance to be the 4th receiver. Or, I don't think Barry Brown. I don't think Barry Brown's going to be the 4th receiver per se. But I think sometimes we get too literal with those numbers. I think Barry Brown's going to have a specific skill set, and when they want someone to run this specific kind of pattern, that he's going to be like their number 1 option to do this. But that doesn't mean he's going to be the number 4 receiver. He might actually play more downs than the number 4 receiver in a given game. But I still don't think he's going to be the number 4 receiver, because I think he has a very unique skill set that they're going to utilize. I kind of think he's the one that they're going to utilize that with. And so sometimes we kind of get too literal with number 2, number 3, number 4. I don't think I would be surprised if Barry Brown's the Saints' 4th best receiver this year. But I think he's going to seem that way in how they use him in certain games. That's kind of what I'm expecting anyway. We'll see how it plays out. I'd given up on some of these other guys. Like, there's been this whole Rothsteiner guy. Everybody's talking about him. I've totally dismissed all of it. I guess now you could say you can't totally dismiss him. You can't. I've kind of dismissed Bub Means. I guess you can say, well, there's maybe a little bit better chance that maybe Bub Means could enter the picture to fight for, that 5th spot at wide receiver. Although I just think it's tough when you have guys like Bub Means and even Trey Palmer. I think their jobs it's a lot easier for a Barry Brown to make it because he's there because of special teams. Like, unless he's just not anywhere near as good as most of us think he is, Brown's going to make the team as a wide receiver spot because he's going to make it because of how good he is in special teams. Now, I think he might contribute, like I said, in certain situations as a wide receiver, but his spot is going to be on the roster because of special teams. You can't really say that with Bub Means and Trey Palmer and them. And so, same thing with Chandler. I don't really think Chandler's going to make it, but if he does, it's going to be because of his special teams value more. But do you need 2 return guys? I mean, you need 2 return guys on kick return, yeah. But, kick returns are going to mean a little more than they have the last year or so, 2 years, but not that much more. And so I don't know that Chandler will be able to. I don't know that they would keep Chandler as a second return specialist if they don't feel like he's as good a running back as Estime or, Miller or, Neal, that group. But no, that'll be interesting. So again, we're paying attention to Saints camp, but I'm not paying too close to it. I listen to what they say. Kool-Aid's doing great or whoever's doing great. And I listen to it, but I don't attach a whole lot to it yet. It just, what's important is that they're out there and they're practicing and they appear to be healthy. That's what's important. Supposedly the first 4 practices, the offense didn't look very good. That means nothing to me. I don't even worry about that. How they do. I just hope the talk of camp, the guy who ends up, midway through camp is not a Mason Tipton type player. I hope it's like Blackman or Kool-Aid or, someone who is actually going to, we expect to be part of the team. Wouldn't it be great if it's Cesar Ruiz? It's not going to be Cesar Ruiz, but someone who we expect to be on the field a lot. I mean, I understand that Pierre Thomas was once a nobody at the end of and then he became a really good player. So that does happen. But when we get close to the end of camp, I don't want the MVP of camp to be someone like Mason Tipton like it's been the last year. I want it to be like I said, someone who's even a Jordan Howden. I mean, I don't think Jordan Howden's anything but an average to slightly below average, but at least I expect him to kind of make the team at least. So someone who we think is gonna make the team already, someone like that, or Vernon Broughton would be the star of camp. That would be tremendous to hear. I don't want to hear Mason Tipton as the star, the MVP of training camp. That means nothing. I want it to be someone who I thought was going to make the team. So again, I pay attention to the camp reports, but I don't put a lot on it other than health, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. I just wonder, did this catch Kellen Moore off guard? Did it catch Tyler Shuck off guard, who has been working with him in the offseason? I don't know that they'll ever really tell you the answers on that, but I wondered that. How surprised were they by this? It just seems really bizarre on the surface, unless there are things that they know about that we obviously don't know a whole lot about, behind-the-scenes detail. All right, so last I heard, the last trade that was made on the trade deadline was Luis Ariz, kind of a player from a different era, a guy who likes to put the bat on the ball. That cat could hit cleanup for the Astros, Luis Ariz. I mean, he doesn't fit defensively, but really, I think he could hit cleanup for the Astros. We could just put that guy in the 4-hole if he played for the Astros, if they could fit him in defensively. And at least he, when he comes up with runners at third and less than 2 outs, he could at least put the bat in play and maybe hit a single to the outfield. It's unbelievable. It really is. So I don't know what's going to happen. I had missed, for whatever reason, the Soriano to the Blue Jays. Gossman was traded to the Cubs. Gossman is having a horrible year. And yet, he's one that's so frustrating. I've always thought he wasn't very good. And I thought he wasn't very good. And so I never drafted him. And then I thought he wasn't very good. And then I never drafted him. And he'd have a good year here and there. And then last year he was really good. And the Astros couldn't touch him last year. And so I said, well, I guess I was wrong on Gossman. So I picked him for the first time ever. And he's been horrible. Just gets lit constantly. I'm like, should have stuck with my gut.
His numbers aren't as bad as you're making them out to be.
He gets lit all the time.
Yeah, but he's had some way worse years in his career, ironically enough.
No, I agree with that. That I agree with. But I'm saying for the Cubs, it wouldn't shock me if he does well the rest of the way.
He still doesn't make any. He is the most confusing well, maybe not the most, because he's actually been pretty consistently good the last 5 years. But 2018-19 stretch, I was like, I don't know what to make of this guy.
No, I'm with you.
He had a 2.87 with the Braves in 18, and then had an ERA over 6 the next year. Just and then he went right back to being kind of good again, and then he was amazing again, and he was top 6 in Cy Young Award voting, and then he was kind of just average again after that. I don't understand who this guy is.
No, he's strange. Now, Soriano is one of the most unhittable pitchers in baseball, but he walks too many. But it wouldn't shock me if he did well moving forward. I think he's got some talent. By the way, and we got to take a timeout. But yesterday, it's just so cool about baseball. The Piper is just so powerful. You could argue that Jacob Misiorowski is the best pitcher in baseball. Jacob Mizorowski and the Brewers, who have one of the what? Do they have like the second best record in all of baseball or something like that? Pretty close. Maybe the best. And they have the best pitcher, and they're playing the little MVPs who are in last place, and everybody laughs at them. And the little MVPs beat Jacob Mizorowski and the Brewers yesterday 3-0. That is just it's just baseball. It's the Piper, and it's what's so wonderful, and it's why I don't think you need a salary cap, because that kind of stuff can't happen in other sports, but it happens in baseball. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros had quite the weekend. They swept the Texas Rangers, securing the Lone Star Series for the season and grabbing first place in the American League West in the process. Houston has now won 6 games in a row and sits 58-55, 2.5 games clear of the Texas Rangers. They'll face the Toronto Blue Jays tonight at 7:10 p.m. right after today's Major League Baseball trade deadline. And speaking of the deadline, it was the rich getting richer over the weekend. The Los Angeles Dodgers landed Tigers ace Tarek Skubal for a package that includes 3 prospects. Skubal is the back-to-back reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League and joins an already loaded first-place Dodgers team. Clubs have until today's 5 o'clock p.m. Central deadline to make moves. LSU got some good news over the weekend on the baseball side of things. Standout high school pitcher Logan Schmidt announced that he will be attending LSU after all. Schmidt was committed to the Tigers but was selected in the MLB draft and was also considering junior college. He joins Jay Johnson's roster for the 2026 season as a left-handed pitcher. The New Orleans Saints began training camp last week and have already lost a couple of expected contributors. After Brian Brzez's knee injury on the first day of camp, the news over the weekend was that wide receiver Jalen Polk has unexpectedly retired from football at age 24. On the PGA Tour, it was Michael Thorbjornsen winning for the first time as he took home the final Rocket Classic in Detroit, Michigan. And it was a sad weekend for the McNeese family as former Cowboys defensive back Levi Wyatt passed away in a car crash. I'm Dawson Angelo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. Drew Brees set a new standard for quarterback play, and now the Saints legend will be immortalized in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. RP3, D'Lo, and Mesh will be there for this historic occasion with a special 3-hour live broadcast from Canton, Ohio. Tune in Friday, August 7th for the Gold Standard. Presented by Beal & Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Right here on ESPN, 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Go check out our YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA for the latest episodes of Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh and Ford Tire Change with Dawson Isolo and much more. That's ESPN, Southwest Louisiana's sports station on YouTube.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Okay, is this going to be, are they going to make me sweat all day long? Is that what's about to happen here? Like, you remember even going back to 17, we waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and then we got to the deadline, and then there was no trade. And then it was one of those deals where after the deadline, they had told him right before the deadline, but it didn't come out until after the deadline that they had traded for Verlander, and we were able to be excited.
That was awesome.
Huh?
That was awesome, though. I remember those were the days I didn't have a whole lot of, like, life responsibilities in 2017 as a college freshman, so oh, wait, no. I actually would have been a high school senior.
This is
because
17.
Yeah, well, no, okay, so I'm getting ready for college, right?
Yeah,
So I
okay.
really don't have anything going on about
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm just hanging out, waiting to move.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the trade deadline special, and then, it's like they think it's over, but they're like, well, we'll see. And then they come back from commercial with this breaking news. It was an exciting day. But by the way, I just sent you an alert. I don't know if you saw it, but John Morosi, MLB Network reporter, is reporting the Astros are, quote, increasingly confident that they will add a left fielder before today's deadline. Whatever you want to make of that.
Again, well, they need to get a pitcher, too. But, like, I understand they didn't want to give up, or somebody didn't want to give up Abreu. But it shouldn't take giving up one of the best middle relievers in baseball over the last 3 years, and arguably the best middle reliever, to get a guy who's that accomplished and who has that much postseason experience, to get Trevor Lawrence. Now, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is not good. He's a pretty good player, but he's not great. He's not like an all-star. Most average baseball fans never even heard of Trevor Lawrence. Now, one thing I like about Trevor Lawrence is he gets on base. He's a professional hitter. Like, his on-base percentage is pretty high, actually. And so, last time I looked, it was like around 370 or something. It was really good. So, I like him, but it shouldn't. They should be able to get him. They should be able to trade donkeys to get him, just like, the punks do. You trade 2 or 3 donkeys, and you get a good player back. I don't know why teams do that, but they love to trade donkeys.
Is there some old school New England Patriots type thing going on here where, and you probably have no idea where I'm going with this, so I'm glad I'm holding you on the edge of your seat here, where teams are fans of they're like, well, the Dodgers develop all these prospects, so their farm system just must be loaded. So they just want all their, because I remember there was that stretch where Belichick really had it rolling, and everybody would trade for Patriots players, and then they'd be terrible once they got them. But it was like, the idea was, well, they're on the Patriots, so they must be good.
So do these teams,
because
wonder,
like you're saying,
if I know this, then do these teams ever go back and look at the trade history and says, wait a minute, these guys never give up good players?
They gave up one to the Astros, though.
Yeah, but again, he was 16. The only reason Major League Baseball let that happen and the Punks, because he was 16 and they had no idea who that was.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
But it worked out.
Oh, it worked out tremendously. Although yesterday, you'd have been mad. Okay, so I think the game was 3-2 or 3-3. The Astros got he was 2 for 2 at the time, El Perro Grande.
Mm-hmm.
He came up. There was runners on first and second and nobody out. And I said, oh, no, El Perro Grande's up. That was the wrong guy to have at the plate. Because he was already 2 for 2. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Because if I have one complaint about El Perro Grande, it's that in those situations, when he came up to the plate, I'm like, oh, no, it's the wrong guy to have at the plate. So I'm saying, they're going to walk you. Just don't swing. They want to walk you. My only issue with El Perro Grande in this incredible season is he has to understand that there's going to be times where they don't want to face him. Just take your walk and trust your teammate. And then he swings it. So it's a 2-0 pitch. He swings at a ball and he pops it up. And I'm like, I knew that was going to happen. Just stand there. But I understand when you're that good, you feel like you can hit anything. But he was not going to get a hit in that at bat. It wasn't going to happen.
4 for 5 yesterday, by the way.
Man, is he good. But, again, he was the wrong guy to have up in that situation. And then there was another yesterday. I mean, it's so bad with Altuve right now. When he comes up with runners on first, second, and no outs, and when he doesn't hit into a triple play, I guess you got to say it's a positive. Like yesterday, he hit a slow roller to third. They got the force out at third, but at least they didn't hit into a double or triple play. Why doesn't he just bunt?
He's tried that a few times recently.
But why can't he bunt?
Yeah,
he used to be able to bunt. Like, bunting shouldn't be that hard for him.
Yeah, he's pretty close to the ground to start, so you're right.
Yeah.
That seems logical.
He needs to bunt more. But the point of all this conversation is, are they going to really go to the last second? Is he really going to do that? That's what's about to happen.
Well,
right?
you want to make a trade with like a West Coast team. They're just getting up. It's earlier in the morning over there. So, I don't know. I don't have a good reason for you.
If they get Robbie Ray and Trevor Lawrence, I'll be thrilled.
That'd be cool.
Don't you? You don't think that you thought I was nuts when I brought up that they could get 3 players today? I'm getting greedy. Why not get greedy? You're in first place.
That's fair. That's fine.
What's the difference between giving up 6 donkeys and 4 donkeys?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, nobody gives up anybody anymore, so might as well figure it out. I don't understand. This Scooble deal is... I guess it's the team control aspect of it, but the Dodgers are going to sign him for monopoly money anyway after this. So,
and why not try to get something more? If you're going to make a trade like that, and you really feel like no one offered you any better, why would you make the trade 2 days or 3 days before the deadline? At least wait till the very end of this afternoon and say, well, I didn't get anything better. I guess we'll go ahead and make this trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, why make it 3 days before? And you got nothing.
Yeah, it's not Luka to the Lakers, but it doesn't feel all that far off from it.
It's just, I don't want to think conspiracy. I don't want to think baseball is behind the scenes pushing this direction, but that kind of stuff makes you wonder. I mean, at least cover it up better than that. It's just, or if there's zero truth to it, make it look like there's zero truth to it. Major League Baseball. And again, at some point, the commissioner's got to be able to say, look, you can make a trade with them, but they got to give something up. And it's not just them. Like, it is true for the apologists. It is true that the Astros hardly ever give up anything in a trade. The Astros rarely give up anything in a trade. I'm sure, and there are probably other teams that we don't investigate that don't either. It's not just the Punks that never give up good players. But the problem is the Punks are the only one with a $700 million budget, and they play players for the next 100 years with monopoly money, and they every time a big free agent comes up, they sign everybody. I mean, it's just they're totally different than everybody else. And so when you're the big bully on the block that can do everything, then you should have to give up something in a trade, or don't trade with them. It's not that difficult. Because, again, when people say, well, teams want to help themselves, nobody's helping themselves. No one. No one is helping themselves by acquiring donkeys from the Dodgers in this supposedly great farm system. They just all get taken advantage of. And then they give them, it's just ridiculous. No one gets helped by trading with them. Ever. Except for the Astros, that one time, trading for a guy who, wasn't old enough to do anything. He was 16. They didn't even know what they was. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The annual Fête du Teche boat procession will be floating down the Bayou Teche on August the 15th. Thousands of people come every year to celebrate their faith, South Louisiana heritage. The day begins with a mass by Bishop J. Douglas Desautels at St. Leo's Catholic Church in Leonville before dozens of boats depart along the Bayou Teche to St. Martinville, retracing the voyage of the Acadians over 250 years ago. There will be many stops along the way for people to pray and give public witness to their faith. For more information, visit fedduduteche.org.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Looking for a great deal on golf this summer? Head to Farm Alley Golf Course for the Sizzlin' Summer Special. Every Tuesday through Thursday, tee off anytime between noon and 3:30 and enjoy 18 holes of championship golf, including a cart for just $55. That's unbeatable summer golf at an unbeatable price. Gather your friends, sharpen your game, and make the most of your afternoons at Farm Alley Golf Course. Book your tee time today and take advantage of the Sizzlin' Summer Special, only at Farm Alley.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Whether it's a tempting text message or a quick glance at your GPS, taking your eyes off the road for just a moment can have serious consequences. This includes turning around or reaching down. Distractive driving includes eating or putting on makeup. Distractive driving is anything that diverts your attention from driving. I'm Lorraine Luquette Vinoy with Service Chevrolet Cadillac, encouraging you to drive smart, drive safe, and keep those eyes on the road, Acadiana. This message is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac and this radio station, where safety meets style on the road.
This is ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes, some really interesting things could happen today. And maybe hardly nothing will. I mean, there will be trades, but that doesn't. Not every trade that's made is like, oh, that one was really interesting. But I kind of flew by it about an hour ago. George Springer played defense yesterday for the second time all season. That's not by accident. It's because the trade deadline was today. And there were Astro scouts, and I'm sure there were some other team scouts out there. And I don't know that one day can tell you if a guy can play the outfield periodically, at least, or pretty on a regular basis for the next 2 months. But that was very interesting.
Yeah, but it's tough to get all the way from Toronto to Houston. Oh, wait. The Blue Jays are in Houston tonight. How's that for convenience, huh?
So, look, I think he's hit like 340 since the All-Star break. I would trust the offensive part of Springer if they did this. Is he really going to be healthy and be able to play the outfield? They have too many DHs. They can't afford to acquire a DH.
Yeah, I think, well, here's the thing with me, and we've had this conversation before. What's the difference between left and right field in Minute Maid Park? Although some people would make you think it's monumentally different. Oh, left field's so easy to play in Minute Maid, so I keep calling it that. It's the wrong name. But my first thought would be, he could play that left field, couldn't he?
But you have to physically be able to run. He's got the skills to do it. He's just always hurt.
Well, and he's on the older side. I mean, he's in his upper 30s, but I would still be for it. Is he on an expiring deal? Do you know offhand? I need to find that out because he's to me the ultimate rental.
No, but they would have to pay a lot of his contract for this to happen. I think. I mean, there's no way the Astros would pay. It seemed like he's making between $8 and $10 million or something.
He is on a 6-year, $150 million deal. His payroll hit this year's $24 million. He is on an expiring deal though, so that to me is that makes perfect sense, right? And you're right. The Blue Jays would have to eat a chunk of it.
So,
I would assume.
And look, there are people that would be totally against it. I don't mind renting him for a couple months if he can play. But again, they're not going to know that. They already have too many DHs. I think he's got the skills the instincts. He was at one time a great outfielder defensively. He's just old and beat up. And I think he can hit, and I think he'll hit in the clutch and all that stuff. And, man, it would obviously be a fun. Can you imagine the ovation he would get if they traded him tonight? But I just don't. I just cannot trust that he will be physically able to play outfield for the next two. And again, to your point, he doesn't have to play every day in the outfield. El Toro Grande played the outfield yesterday. He can play the outfield, especially at home. But on the road, you can't. You don't want to do that very often. All right. The other thing is Mike Trout really going to be traded today? That guy has been hammered for years for staying with the little MVPs. He's got to be tired of it. I mean, he can say you can argue that it's honorable, and I'll buy most of that. But at some point, why wouldn't he want to? I got to believe the Phillies are the only team he would go play with because he's from that area.
And he just got to spend the All-Star weekend there. You don't think some of those conversations maybe were had in the back channels of Citizens Bank Park?
And they need an outfielder desperately, about as much as the Astros do. They went out and got Adolis Garcia, and he did terrible, and then he got hurt. And, they've been playing young players out there. It would be pretty easy to see him going there and doing pretty well. He still can play the outfield as far as running-wise, but he still has no arm, and he's way easier to strike out than he used to be. Way easier.
We do have another trade, by the way. Brent Suter to the Braves. See that one?
No, I didn't see that.
How about here? You'll like the name he got traded for, Nacho Alvarez Jr.
Ooh, great name. again, middle reliever type guys are not fancy, but they're very, 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 very important. I'm not a big fan of Lane Thomas just because I drafted him last year as a backup outfielder, and he was terrible. But 2 years ago, he had a good year. They traded for him over the weekend, the Braves. The Braves are going to need to make a bigger trade than that, though. Like, they've made a couple trades here, but none of them are, like, really good. So we'll see what happens. Y'all have a good day.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to